You can still grow up in a Christian home, Christian family, even have your parents as like leaders in the church or even be a pastor's kid, and you can still lose your faith. You're still not saved. And coming from someone who is a pastor's kid and grew up in a Christian home, I still did not know God for myself. I still had yet to learn. And let me explain, because when I was 15, it wasn't until I was like 15 or 13 that I figured out who God was, because I was just hearing him from somebody, taking their word and believing it, but then being severely confused because they would say, oh, I'm going to take this because God told me to take away your blessing. So then I was like, why should I serve a God who I didn't even do anything wrong, who is telling someone to take something from me? Because that is not God. And it wasn't until I knelt down and said, God, I'm confused. If you are real, give me comfort. And I felt his hand on my right shoulder. And I looked up and there was no one right there. My door to my bedroom was closed. There was no one there but him. After that, I started getting on fire for God. I started getting on fire, reading all this stuff. I got injured then in high school, lost my ability to run for a while. I was an amazing athlete in track, could not run like I used to. And it still pains me to this day because I was like, God, that was what I thought you had me to do, was go to the Olympics. Why do you must not love me because I am still hurting. I'm not out of the situation that I need to leave. You still have me living in this situation, and also on top of that, I am injured. You took away my talent. And so I was mad at God. I was so mad at him. I knew he was real, but I stopped worshiping him. I didn't know what to say to him. I was like, might as well not say anything to him because he must not love me. He did this to me. It was not him. It was not God. And I wish I could cradle my old self and tell her, no, that is not a God. He is actually getting you ready for something you actually won't believe. He will actually turn your pain into joy. And I remember I was finally fully healed. I could after 2 months not being able to put weight on my leg, after losing muscle, I felt like an empty vessel. I was in the library to my high school all by myself. And the librarian, who I would not really even talk to, not more than a good morning, how are you, hello, and a goodbye to top it. That was mainly all our conversation. Oh, God, thank you so much. I remember I was sitting there in the library, and I heard a soft, gentle voice, and I heard Alexis, come here. That's all she said. It was, Alexis, come here. And I got up. I went over to her. I was still the kind person that I was, with a big heart. So big that I loved and wanted to stay in the situation that I was in because I didn't want to leave that person. I was still the kind Alexis, but I just lost that glimmer in my eye. I lost all joy. I lost all hope. And if after this encounter I still did not want to listen to God, because this was God's last chance to say no, I've been here the whole time. You just have to wait. You just have to wait. That's it. I love you so much, and I'm not making you go through this pain alone. I'm actually holding your hand. But you don't know because there's so much going on around you, but I am silent because I know if I say something that's going to overwhelm you, so I am just asking you to wait. And so what happened was I came up to her, and she said, I don't know what's been going on through your life, But God told me to give you this. And he told me to tell you not to give up on him. That is not coincidence. Because in that point, that was like the first week I was like, I'm giving up. The second she said that, my eyes welled up and I said, who told you? Because I have not told anyone about what is going on through my life. I told some people, but did they tell you? And she said, no, nobody has came up to me. Which one? Why would they? She was just the librarian of the school. So, as she was saying all that to me, she brings out a green book. And it says, The Gift of Jesus. And I took it, and I just almost started crying. And I said thank you, because I actually was giving up on him. And in that moment, I was still spiritually numb. But there was something, God was quietly just turning my heart. He was in the background molding me a new heart. Getting it ready for the time that I fully believed that he would place it. Because I was still astonished. I was taken aback because I was like, is this God just trying to draw me back in so I'm hurt more? No. That was not it. Ooh, I wish I could tell my younger self. Ooh. I wish I could tell my younger self to believe, but I needed to go through that process. I am who I am today. I'm the woman of God. I am a woman of God. And I've walked in his path. He has held me when my feet were slipping from my own misunderstanding and from people. But I hope and pray this has reached someone. Send this to someone who does not believe, who are struggling in their faith. But wait till, ask God if this is the right time and the right video to send to them. Because there's always something that you add correctly to the recipe, or if you add it too early, it makes the dish taste bad. That's how I view God's timing. It's always on time. But I hope you all have a blessed, wonderful day. Stay strong in the Lord. Do not pay attention to what anyone's saying. Search for the answers yourself. Make the understanding built in between you and God's timing. That is the best I have to say. You may hear, oh, well, this happened over here. Pay attention to him. Pay attention to him. Do not remove your eyes off of him. And don't worry about making the wrong choice, because if you make the wrong choice, Jesus surely shall bring you back to his path. But you have to recognize that. You have to recognize, oh, he's actually bringing me back to the right path, instead of seeing it as, oh, I can't have fun. Being in Jesus' heart is so fun. So much fun. I don't know how people are like, it's boring, because you aren't done being the God in your life yet. You need to give that control to him. So yeah, y'all have a blessed day. I'm excited for what God has in store for all of us, honestly.